Hello, everybody out there. Bryan Broaddus. Welcome once again to The Stack, where we get the conversation going about all things NFL draft. Joined here by my scouting buddies, Iisha Morrison, Zach Wolchuk. Guys, we got through the East-West game, working on the Senior Bowl. I'm going to try and make you uncomfortable today.
Okay.
I'm going to try and make you a little uncomfortable. And I want you, because we're going to get into this the Senior Bowl stuff. Mm-hmm. But first off, I want to ask you a question. I'll start with you, 2I. When you're in a situation where you're watching these Senior Bowl players and they're having good practices, but maybe the film leading up to it was not good. And I'll give you an example. Our colleague Voch Lombardi and I talked about this with T.J. Parker from Clemson.
Fair.
And maybe the film hasn't been where everybody has T.J. Parker. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of thinking that like, what's up with this guy? But I'm asking you this, and not so much about T.J. Parker, but about what if the film is not as good as how the players playing in the All-Star game? And how do you navigate that?
Okay. I mean, I always give players, personally, I think I give players the opportunity to show that they made some changes before the Senior Bowl. Some of these guys do get with some people, some coaches, some whoever. They do some work. But then also, too, you've always told me this is the time that we get to see the best against the best. And if he is performing well against the best, I just add it to the information, personally. Like, obviously, the film can say one thing because it's not even just him. It's the gentleman we were talking about the other day, the defensive tackle, is it Darnell? Is it not
Jackson?
Oh,
yeah. Daryl Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah. A lot of people felt that way about his production this year. Now, when you go look into the film, you see he was getting his
Florida State,
double and triple team.
Right.
Yes. From Florida State. But people are experiencing that with him as well because he just got off the plane from the Shrine Bowl and started putting people on their asses at the Senior Bowl. Like, I do think that does cause some issues with people evaluating. I just try to combine the information and give guys the opportunity to grow in certain areas that maybe I didn't see during the season or in their film, because it's possible some guys do come out and test well and do things. And I don't know who it was. Was it Jack Campbell? I think it was Jack Campbell. We did not, Jack Campbell, linebacker from Iowa, we did not think he was going to test as well as he did.
Yeah.
We weren't sure, based on the film,
there you go,
if he was going to test well, and he had more fluidity than we expected.
Sure.
You should be able to change your mind in this business, and I think we're supposed to, right? Once we get information, right?
Absolutely. Let me follow back up with you then. When you're watching this, or where you're building your player, you're building your identity of what you think this player is. Mm-hmm. Give me where the All-Star game fits with you. And then I'm going to come back with you, and I'm going to ask you the same question, but I'm going to ask it. I want to hear your thought, though, about Watch. But I wanted to follow up with you. Where do you put the All-Star game in the hierarchy of how you're evaluating a player?
It's probably like third on my list when it comes to the film, the stats, the production, and then because we see guys ball out at the combine.
Yeah.
And they don't
because they train for that
They
stuff.
train for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can I think the measurements and some of the testing, I know you gentlemen have taught me that certain tests matter more than others depending on position and stuff. I'm still getting a feel, obviously, but for me, I think the Senior Bowl is not a priority, but it does mean something to me that when you get the chance, everybody watching, everybody's there, everybody and their mama there.
High pressure. Yeah.
It's a high pressure deal. This week is stressful for them. They're going through meetings too, similar to combine practices. How do they perform? How do they take coaching? It matters. So I'm like, I feel like on the scale, it's maybe like third for me when it comes to the actual film and things like that. But it's
You're always going to trust your film eyes.
It's not, but it's not. It's not that it's not important. You have to include it. How do you feel about it, Zach?
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right when it comes to the film being priority number one.
Yeah.
I think you've always got that's got to be your base. That's got to be the foundation. It's always about like, okay, let's go back and see how this player played T.J. Parker's instance,
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I was going to
it's
circle back
interesting
with you on
because,
that
like,
one.
his freshman year, he was brilliant. He set the Clemson record, 12 and a half sacks his freshman year. Did some of the life get sucked out of these players at Clemson this past year with just how
And
the
there was
season
the
went?
bar was so high though
Yeah.
coming into the season.
It's bizarre because T.J. Parker, he just ran so hot and cold. Like, the tape this past year was not that good.
Yeah.
But if you go back and you look at previous years, and I think that that's where the Senior Bowl will come in, is it causes you to, okay, let me go back and reevaluate.
Yeah.
Let me assess, like, the context, the why. Like, why was T.J. Parker not blowing me away when he was projected to be a top 10 pick, and then I go back and watch him, and in 2025, it's like, there's a play. There's the guy that I thought I would see, and then there's nothing for 3 more quarters when it comes to the guy, right? The production dipped from him this past year. So I do think, though, when it comes to the Senior Bowl and getting the pleasure to work some of those practices last year at the Shrine Bowl with Voch, the players that stand out in these games, I think that has a history of translating.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's Quinyon Mitchell, whether it's Zach Martin versus Aaron Donald back in those epic
legendaries,
days.
yeah.
You brought up on our show on G-Bag Tyron Smith versus J.J. Watt. I mean, I think that guys that go out and really excel, Cooper Kupp made money during the Senior Bowl week, went onto everybody's radar. The guys that are able to really use this platform, and that's why for Tyron Montgomery, this D3 kid that's now breaking onto the scene,
Yeah.
John
What?
Carroll,
Did you learn
from
where John
Woodlands,
Carroll
Texas.
was?
Yeah, for Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, was it Don Shula you told me?
Yeah, Don Shula.
I mean, that's crazy. So, I mean, there's a football history there, but nobody knew who Tyron Montgomery. Now, maybe some hardcore draft nerds, but this is a guy now that we all are starting to become in love with and enamored with. Like, wow, he's going out there and putting some of these legit Chris Johnson, San Diego State top 50 DB. You know, whether it's Colton Hood from Tennessee.
Yeah, we were talking about him,
Yeah.
wondering about him. He came out and performed.
Ty Montgomery's looking really, really good. So I take more stock in the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl than I do the Scouting Combine. I think the Scouting
That's fair.
Combine has dropped to the least of my. It's all about the health. What does the health check out?
Sure.
What do you find out there? Maybe like how's a guy run? But like we're tracking guys that are running super fast with no pads on. Like that's not true football speed. Some of these guys, heck, you just saw it with Bobo at Seattle, catching a touchdown in the NFC
Just so he
Championship
couldn't run out of
game.
sight, right?
Yeah. I mean, ran a historically bad 40
Right.
as a wide receiver. And people get enamored with this stuff in the underwear Olympics.
Oh, you're
And
looking at me as you're saying this. I can feel you. No,
not
no,
you. Not you. I'm kind of talking to like a little Wolchuk who was back in like middle school and high school, and I'm trying to.
no. I don't think you're wrong.
No, I
I
agree.
love the combine, but
I
now
agree.
like doing this, I'm like,
I put it.
it doesn't matter.
I
It's
put it
great
at the
for
bottom.
networking and the health stuff. That's
I
what
put
I need
it
to
at
know.
the bottom. The combine is probably the thing that I factor in the least. But even in so, it depends on what it is, what they're doing. Because like you taught me that the 3-cone, like how important that is for certain guys. Like I do learn from it certain things.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay,
the
well, let
film
me,
and-
since we talked about the combine, your experience of going to the combine. Talk about that a little bit then.
that was a good time. I didn't know what to do with myself because I'd never been surrounded by football like that. But just to sit, the energy that's there, these kids, and I'm calling them kids because I'm a little older than what I look. These kids, they live for this moment.
Yeah.
Like they do. That is their end all be all. And that's what it's the same thing with the Senior Bowl. Some of these kids, they be waiting for their opportunity to get there. Are you talking about guys that rose their stock? Tess Johnson last year.
Yeah,
He was a
great
senior,
example.
He was a Senior Bowl guy that people worried about the size, worried about those things. He goes to the Bucks and gets busy. You know what I'm saying? So I like when guys rise to the occasion at these bowl games and
with
stuff,
you.
in these practices. It
You
says
see them
something to
compete.
them.
You
Yes.
see- and like
you see them
you can
compete.
see it to an extent during the drills. Like I love the wide receiver gauntlet, right? Like there's certain aspects of like I think some of the DB drills, some of the stuff with the linebackers, getting able to see some of their hip fluidity and their movement, like covered. Like there's certain elements of the combine, but it's more so just to like fit what I saw on tape.
Yeah.
It's not. I think I can go back and have a totally different perspective on a kid. Like T.J. Parker is doing that to me right now.
Yeah.
This dude's whooping people out there during one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl. I'm going to need to go back and do a deeper dive
Okay.
into T.J.
Yeah,
Parker.
you got my attention on it too. Your guy from Tech.
Jacob Rodriguez. And you know what? I've been a coward when it comes to Jacob Rodriguez.
Don't be a coward.
Brian knows I've been very high on him.
You have been.
But
Every time that somebody says, well, look at Jacob Rodriguez, look what he's doing, I'm like, at Zach Wolchuk.
Yeah. I mean, Brian knows I've had a man crush on Jacob Rodriguez.
You've talked about him as a stacked top 15 guy potentially on your board.
Lee Hunter as well, made some
Lee
waves.
Hunter, first rounder, I think, as well. But I haven't been outspoken out of fear of the social media bullying, I suppose, when it comes to pounding the table for Rodriguez at pick 20 for Dallas. I haven't. Because I also don't know how will the Cowboys view him.
Yeah.
I just expect he's going to be a day 2 guy for most people.
6'1", he's 235.
For me, there's things that he has that you can't teach.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't really care about your consensus big bore crap that the Marcus Moshers want to put out there and all this. If you love a dude, do you think anybody gives a damn that the Cowboys got ridiculed for taking Travis Frederick when they did, when he was supposedly a third-round pick?
I'm raising my hand right now.
When the Detroit Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell at 12 and 18, and the entire NFL is like, what?
Yeah.
You took a running back and a linebacker in the top 20? What are you doing? Well, they're 2 of their best players, and they've had a lot of success. Jacob Rodriguez, to me, is one of these guys that is going to come into your organization.
Yeah.
He's a leader, and he just has a knack for making plays. And is he the biggest linebacker compared to a C.J. Allen or a Sonny Styles? No. Is he going to test as well as maybe an Anthony Hill Jr. or, I don't know, Sonny Styles? Definitely.
Yeah.
No. But the tape's undeniable.
Yeah.
The film junkie that he is, the cerebral instincts that he plays with. I mean, he's one of these guys, like, shout out to Bob Sturm. He commented on me, on my post yesterday. He's like, look, that's a guy you want to have your daughter marry.
Yeah.
And he is. He's like, bring home to the those kind of guys are I want on my football team.
Right.
I want in the foxhole with me. So if you're a team that doesn't have a day 2 pick like Dallas is, and maybe there's some others we can talk about, is it a reach? Sure. But I'm getting my guy.
It's not a reach if it's your guy. It's not a reach.
Yeah,
I mean, we could all poke holes in the drafts and stuff like that, but teams look at it like we got our guy. Mm-hmm. We got our guy. And history will prove if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So,
he's one of the only true Mikes I felt like out of this class. Because I just feel like with the Mike, there's a poise that I look for.
Yeah.
And then obviously how studious he is, how his coaches have spoken about him. But also, too, with Dallas Day, it's not, is it the Metroplex? Like, how does this work? What is
the rules are a little loose.
Because I was about to say, because he's Wichita Falls, so.
Yeah, we're
gonna stretch that thing as far as we can.
Dallas might get an extra look-see at him.
Yeah, I think he would.
Because they take advantage of Dallas Day, and that's immediately what I thought about when you were speaking about him.
I appreciate the insight on that, and we're going to get into some of these players, but can I circle back with you guys on something about T.J. Parker? Mm-hmm. And I meant to get there. And, with me as the host, sometimes you just don't.
Well, we're probably guilty.
It's us, too.
No. I appreciate the enthusiasm about the players. I really, that means a lot to me. I want to ask you about T.J. Parker. Is T.J. Parker on your stack like a guy that maybe he's in the 20s, maybe he's in the 30s on your stack? Just thinking about it right now. Mm-hmm. Is he competing against players that are going to be 5th, 6th round guys on your board? And are you seeing that maybe you are seeing a little bit of a bump in how he's playing because he might be going against a 5th round tackle on your board?
Right.
Okay.
Is that something that we have to look? Yeah, I mean, he's doing great. I'm not trying to minimize the kid. It sounds like I am.
Yeah.
But I wonder is when all of a sudden you see guys who are rock solid, say 2nd round guys on your board, and you're going, man, boy, that guy, I need to go back. But if he was playing against players that were comparable, that like what you're seeing when he goes against players in the ACC, is it making him look a little bit better? Or do you really legitimately have to go back? Or are you going to see the same thing when you go back and watch ACC football that you saw him doing when you watched him the first time as opposed to how you're seeing him in the Senior Bowl right now?
Well, I think it's important. That's one thing that I'm learning in school right now is context.
And explain school.
Oh yeah, I am in the scouting academy with Dan Hatman and Lewis Riddick.
Say it with your chest. This is badass.
This is great.
I am
don't
in
be bashful about
a
it.
scouting academy that is basically like a college level course. Thank you. And
Very proud of you.
I'm learning how to evaluate on a scouting level, NFL scouting level. It's been really dope, and it's really helping my performance and how to do my reports. But one thing that we learn is context. And if you feel like you don't know a player, then you don't have enough context, is what they're teaching us. So how you were talking about, right, where you're like, okay, well, I watched him this past year. I didn't understand. That's your opportunity to get curious, to go look within the coaching, to go look within the scheme, to go see if you can catch any interviews and see if they maybe changed how they were, the fronts they were doing. Maybe they changed some of his technique in the season. You got to find out the in-depth information, and I think as the process goes on, we get more information. That's why the coaches get all the information at the combine and stuff. They look. Right. We don't get all that, but we can go within the film and try to look at scheme and try to look at things and see maybe why the production lowered. Sometimes it's injury. Sometimes it's new coaches.
New coaches.
Sometimes because we went through that with Overshown.
Sure.
He was in coaching carousels with all the different coaches. They switch positions and stuff. You got to have that context.
Well, remember last year though the Mozzie Smith draft, several years ago.
I ain't doing that no more.
No. But how they play
Michigan. You're
with
right.
the stance,
the stance, the two gap and stuff. You get it now with the Georgia kids.
I asked scouts when I was at the Senior Bowl scouting school. I said, at one point in time...
Another thing that she's done.
At what point in time do you ask, like...
Maybe the only female that's done
when is a team being detrimental to a player translating to the league? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, I know that it's not their business. Like, they're there for their programs to be successful. But at evaluators or even as scouts, at what point in time do you say, hey, we're seeing a pattern here with this specific group? They're coming out, whether their play strength isn't good, or they are dealing with, like you said, the stance transitioning to the NFL. At what point in time can we hold programs accountable for that? Or is that something we can't do because they're there to make their money?
Yeah. I kind of wonder that now with the NIL the way it is in these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Does a quarterback leave a poorly coached team and then go to a team that all of a sudden finds a way to get him right?
Yeah.
With Mendoza going from Cal, I'm not saying poorly coached, but he goes from Cal to winning the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
You take
a big step.
You take a big step.
But how about like Tennessee players? Like Tennessee's offense there with Heupel.
That's so fair.
I have had a lot of
you're about to crush these wide receivers.
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, they haven't translated.
None of them. Like Thornton maybe with the Raiders.
Brazil. They got Brazil coming up, right?
Well, and Jalen Wright was one of my guys a couple of years ago. Now Jalen Wright finally got an opportunity with Miami, the running back. This past year in year 2, and he was able to perform well. Like Dylan Sampson with Cleveland. Dylan Sampson, I don't think did a ton, and by the end of the year, like Cleveland was out of running backs. So I think it's more so wide receivers to me than it is the running backs in the Heupel system, because I think he does just. It's how they run it, and they're doing a great job of scheming guys that now you're running free and nobody's covering you. And like, okay, so how does that translate when now I've got to get off press man coverage, or I'm not in the same scheme, and now I've got to battle and find a hole in the zone and sit down, and all of these things I'm now being tested that I didn't get tested at the college level, and there is going to be a slower and a steeper learning curve for some of these guys. Yeah,
we got to take that into consideration. I mean, we do it already. Like when we're looking at these new coaches coming in for the Cowboys, what are we doing? We're going to look at their history. Yeah. We're going to look at what their schemes call for, how they use these positions, why they like to use use positions in certain ways and stuff. That's the same thing you got to do here. So to answer your question, I think you got to seek more context. And the thing is like if I'm consistently watching a player and my notes, I go through my notes in every game, I'm saying he doesn't get off blocks well.
Yeah. He didn't get off blocks.
The MFer don't get off blocks well.
Yeah.
It's not that.
You just got to say, he's not for me.
Yeah, you got to accept what it is. But when you do see a guy like you talk about that was productive, maybe a year before, something happened.
Yep.
The guy then just
fall off the map.
Fall off the map.
Yeah.
There are times that guys do that. We have seen that. But more than likely, it's a scheme change. He's getting his ass double teamed like crazy or something like that.
Yeah.
People have adjusted to him.
Is he playing through an injury?
Is he playing through an injury?
I think Anthony Hill Jr. That's context that I've learned
Texas
just trying to
linebacker.
talk to
Yes.
people at Texas.
It's important.
Why was the tape maybe not as good this year as it was a year ago? Also, how he was used on the defense, right? So, like 2024 Anthony Hill Jr. first rounder, no question to me. 2025 Anthony Hill Jr. Was he more of a day two guy that he looks like on tape? To me, yes.
Yeah, if I could finish up a thought about the Mozzie Smith stuff in Michigan.
Sorry.
No, not at all. No. I was the thing with Wink Martindale coming in there. We're evaluating Michigan's defensive linemen different
Yeah.
than we were when with Jesse Minter or when that whole thing was going
Well, and
on.
you got Derek Moore,
Yeah.
who's kicking ass in these practices now.
That's
the
what I'm
edge.
saying. That's what I'm saying, though. When
Yeah.
we're trying to kind of learn in the situation because, like I say, these Georgia guys, you watch them play in the league and you're like going, oh, okay, I get it. But then you watch them play some of the two gap stuff and things like that. They don't look like they're playing quick.
Yeah.
Well, it's the scheme. So you got to be very mindful of that. You got to be very mindful of that. Okay, Zach, I'm going to start with you on this one. Okay.
What you got?
We're mentioning some Senior Bowl. Been talking about that quite a bit. We've had an opportunity. Our colleagues, our friends, are doing a great job on ESPN and then on the NFL Network and stuff like that. A lot of folks there covering it, getting an opportunity to watch the tape. Give me some players. Give me some players. If you want to go through a guy, and then Iisha, if you want to comment or anything like that, but give me some players that have kind of through these practices have caught your eye a little bit. I know everybody likes to put, these three guys have done it, but and if you have some of the same guys, if we have both the same guys, we're cool with that. But if you could say the national players and the American players, if you got them broken up like that, that would be good too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bud Clark, the safety from TCU.
Okay.
Where at number 21, he's 6'1", 185 is what he weighed in there. And this is a guy, you go back and you look at his history at TCU, team captain, but his best was he started as a redshirt freshman for that Natty team at TCU, led the team with 5 interceptions. And you watch these one-on-one drills. I mean, he is just a pest. He's doing great in the team drills as well. Came downhill, was able to get a nice PBU. But he is super competitive, and he's not getting really turned around. I mean, we've talked about some of these other safeties. Kamari Ramsey at USC is also here at the Senior Bowl. But Bud Clark is a guy that has really, really stood out to me through the
Has he shown up in the one-on-one coverages for you? Is that what they? Because they do these drills with the. I mean, I don't remember. I was watching one side where they do have wide receivers versus corners, and then safeties are covering the tight ends and stuff
tight
like
ends
that.
and maybe some backs as well.
Yeah.
But he did. Now I thought the team drills really is where he stood out to me.
Yeah.
But Bud Clark was a guy that really caught my eye at TCU. Safety group is really stretching this year.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Let me ask you this, though, about, you mentioned the safety group. And again, Voch Lombardi and I had this conversation on Doin Alright, is he asked me in particular maybe a position that might not be one traditionally that we talk about that they don't draft a lot. I kind of feel we're going to see a lot of safeties go early in this draft.
Yeah.
I think like we're starting to, when you break down the position and you start to look, who are all the guys? There's some quality safety play going on, and maybe not at one. It's clearly downs, but we'll see what happens with some of the others if they get pushed up in there. But I kind of feel like there's a good pocket of these safeties, second, third round type of guys.
I agree. I'm just excited that safety's getting some love. It's become one of my favorite positions, guys.
It is.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do. It's like
Kind of
it's a
sick.
Swiss
Well,
Army.
that's what I was about to say. I think that's why we might see more of them go early. Obviously, this class is rich in that sense, but a good safety will cover your.
Yeah, you said it.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Good safeties will make up for your lack of run game. You can use them as robbers. These guys will come up and tackle. Obviously, we know this is a passing league. You have to be able to defend the deep third of the field. I'm happy safeties are getting love. We've seen them be kind of undervalued in quite some time, and it never made sense to me because again, when you start looking at the best defense,
We're bringing
they got
safety
safeties
back.
that can go.
Let's go. No, but you're right, and it's probably like the Kyle Hamilton,
Sure,
and the Brian Branch,
Yeah.
and like Nick Immanwori as well. And
Was Witherspoon a corner?
Nick Immanwori's a guy. Witherspoon was a corner, and so like Immanwori was a guy last year. I remember watching him.
South Carolina.
Oh yeah, he's
South Carolina, and like physically everything you want. Like that's a dude you want, first guy off the bus. But I remember like even talking with you, Brian.
Not always played like first guy off
Like
the bus.
him running the alley.
Yeah.
Like smack a dude.
Yeah.
Where, and maybe it's because you're seeing a guy and you see all the potential.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't go out and necessarily do it. And is that an unfair? Like, are you unfairly like overthinking this with a player? Possibly. I also think the fit matters, and he's in a perfect fit there with Mike McDonald. They had a plan for the player who was with Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore. Like, you've got to know what you want to do with some of these guys. But I mean, this thing, whether it was AJ Halsey from LSU, Thieneman from Oregon, McNeil Warren, the Toledo kid,
a lot of good ones.
Bud Clark, who I just talked about from TCU, Ramsey from USC. Yeah, there is a lot of really, really talented safeties, and hopefully it is something now, especially with a secondary defensive focused DC and Dallas.
Yeah.
But I think the entire league, you're starting to see them put more of a premium at that position.
I'm happy. Stop treating them like that. They be doing a lot.
You got a guy?
I do.
You got some guys. I know you got a lot of guys.
Y'all don't laugh because he's kind of small.
All right, I'm going to laugh at you.
The small one, Romello Height. The
I'm not going to
edge.
laugh at you. Are you kidding me? I married into a Tech family.
The edge out of
I've been
Texas
blazing
Tech.
the Red Raiders.
We're bendy, explosive off the line.
Yeah.
You know, kind of one of those things. He's been making some waves at the Senior Bowl, really showing off that first step. This is a 6-year senior, so he's played a lot of football. I wonder if that's concerning.
Four schools.
Four schools. He
Yeah.
moved around a lot. I'm
This
sure
was
that's
his only first year of like elite production.
yes.
You know, he really found a home there at Tech.
Auburn, USC, Georgia Tech, and obviously he finished at Tech. This is a very productive player. Obviously, the resume goes crazy. He's an explosive player. The first step is what stands out. He's really able to separate from tackles and disrupt timing in the pocket. He's bursty and he's proactive with his hand usage. I mean, he's also very versatile. I mean, this guy has speed rush, outside, inside counters. He has he does swim moves.
Yeah.
He has multiple ways to get to the quarterback. I understand the concern. What I'm thinking about is like, if I'm Dallas, I do think Dallas is going to attack edge in free agency. I'm just getting the edge.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just getting the edge.
Being you live in the building a lot of that time.
Just I ain't that special. I'm just getting the
You want
edge.
to throw out any names?
I know.
What are you hearing?
I just think that Dallas might attack it in free agency because they don't. We've talked about it. They don't have time to like wait for a guy to develop. Because again, we watched Donovan Izarako's chick.
Yeah.
We expected for him to come out. Now he showed promise as a run stopper.
Yeah.
But as a pass rusher, we see he's still learning. I wonder if Dallas wants a guy more ready. As opposite of him, and maybe they get a linebacker that can do some pass rush stuff as well. Maybe like on a go, but but I do think if a team wants to take a guy later, and even though he's a little undersized and stuff like that, this guy he's willing to stop the run.
Yeah.
He's willing to sift through and
Yeah.
shed blocks. I mean, he's very, very productive this past year, 10 sacks, double-digit pressures. He knows how to get after the quarterback.
He does.
And he has the willingness to stop the run. The size is only the only thing that people might be concerned with, especially if he's going to be, maybe you run him in more like a 4-3, you think, with the size, with him being so light in the ass?
I think he could do 3-4 outside linebacker because you see him drop.
Okay.
Like, he'll drop into coverage as well and like be able to carry some guys out into the flat. But you did, like, there were times in the practice, and I'm blanking on who the tackle was, but you saw him, I think, was it the A&M tackle maybe? Stood him up.
Yeah.
So when he's going up against like bigger, more powerful guys,
It's his hands, too.
yeah, that's where you'll start to see the lack of weight.
Yeah, it's the lack
Right.
of weight and the hand fighting. You're looking
Yes.
for him to be more destructive.
That's where David Bailey has the edge over him.
Yeah, he does.
You know,
he does. You see that on tape. But I do think if somebody do want, like, I've seen him play this last couple days in practice, and he stands out. I mean, the
does.
explosiveness stands out. Maybe somebody's willing to take him and see what they can get out of him. The other gentleman that you mentioned him, Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State
Tell me about it.
these
University.
corners have been fun to watch.
They're fun and very feisty. A lot of ball skills in this guy.
Yeah.
6 foot,
San Diego State, you say, right?
San Diego State University. His name is Chris Johnson, cornerback, senior this past year. He is 6 foot, 195 pounds, so got some good size on him. He's a Cali native, blah, 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 blah. First thing that stands out is the ball skills. 4 interceptions for 146 yards and 2 defensive touchdowns over the course of his time in college. He shows really good anticipation playing on the ball, and I think he's shown that in these practices. You see him breaking on the ball. He's timing jumps. He has a lot of instincts when it comes to in coverage. We see so many corners. Okay, so out of this corner group, are there more guys that really attack the ball, or are they attacking the receiver? Because you remember we've seen that multiple years.
That's a great question.
I feel like the guys that I've watched are really attacking the ball.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys.
You're right. And I've wondered, because I always hate that when you're watching a corner and
Almost guys.
they're playing the receiver. Yeah, it's like turn and look, turn and locate the football. But you see better ball skills with a lot of these guys. And you're right about Chris Johnson. Another guy that I just loved the way he competed was Thaddeus Dixon, the North Carolina corner, watching some of these one-on-ones. Because him and Malik Muhammad, my guy out of Texas.
Oh, I was about to say
South Oak Cliff. And I'm biased when it comes to Malik Muhammad. He's a local guy.
Represent Oak Cliff.
He's got first-round talent. He's not going to be a first-round player. And he got totally put on his rear by one of Brian's LSU receivers. I mean, he put him on skates out there. But he came back. I like that. You got to showcase the mental toughness, short-term memory.
What?
If you're going to be embarrassed, how do you bounce back, right? Because I think confidence and swagger is so important when you're playing on an island as a corner. Both of those guys, and to your point, Chris Johnson as well, I think Montgomery got him on a really, really nice
A receiver
catch,
from John Carroll. Yeah.
So both of those guys, Malik Muhammad from Texas and then Thaddeus Dixon, 6 foot, 194, North Carolina. Muhammad is 5'11", 183 from Texas. Was both of them. You saw some up and downs in the practice, but I thought finished really, really strong.
That's the only thing I'm worried about with the Muhammad that he struggles with and South Oak Cliff stand up is when guys go vertical on him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets a little
deep speed?
lost. Yes, the deep speed.
And the double move.
The catch-up.
It's the catch-up, but also too just I think it's the feel. I think he loses guys on his hip.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? He'll lose
doesn't have
where
the
they are.
stickiness.
Yeah, he doesn't, but he does show some ability to play man. I do think that he will close the gap on people and really, stay tight as tight as possible. It's just when they start moving around, I don't know if he has, again, what is the word? I keep saying feel, but you see corners kind of be able to read receivers and their movements. And
a little cerebral.
Yes, I don't see that from him yet, but I did think that he's had a couple of good practices and stood out. And I saw somebody say that they think he's going to be a UDFA. I said, to hell. Who?
No, I mean his brother was.
I saw somebody say that they think that he's going to be
so small.
Yeah,
that was the issue with him. But Bryan, as president of the Tiny DB fan club,
here you go.
I would like to tee you up for Chandler Rivers, the cornerback out of Duke.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Tell
us about him.
You got him?
No. I want you. You were speaking very highly of him.
I love this
as
kid.
a 5'9" corner.
There's a couple. There's a couple. You want to talk about smart, tough, instinctive. All these things. This Chandler Rivers from Duke can really play.
Tell us about him, Bryan.
I mean, he's like our guy Ponce from Indiana, because he's 5'9", he's 185 pounds. And generally you'll see Rivers, he plays generally on the left side of the Duke Blue Devil defense. But man, there's some times where he'll play in the slot, he'll play safety, and he does it because of formation. Sometimes Manny Diaz, who's the defensive coordinator or head coach there, they'll rotate the coverage to make sure that they're kind of covering all their gaps. And I've never seen a guy that opens up the way he does. He opens, almost turning inside to the field and then allowing the route to go, and then him adjusting to the route and the way that he's playing. He is a master at being able to play the zone coverage stuff. But I think you can put him up in man. Now, I have seen a game, and I do like what I've seen from him at the Senior Bowl, but I saw a game against Cal this year where it was tight red zone. And this is where guys we see with Pons from Indiana, we watched him play against Smith from Ohio State and down there and battle in a tight red zone. Well, Rivers got the opportunity against Cal, and it was like tight red zone, and they bullied him a little bit. And he's not a guy that gets bullied very often because he's not a shy away from the contact kind of guy. But he is a guy, I mean, I was impressed. You could watch this guy play. Again, Senior Bowl stuff, you kind of see the movement. But you go and watch the film, they throw a ball to the outside, and they got blockers coming on a screen. And he ducks the blocker. The guy misses him. He keeps his balance, ducks it, and then he's on the tackle for like a gain of 3 or 4 yards. Instead of that thing being 26 yards, it's like a gain of like 2-3 yards because of his ability to duck, balance, and then get back in on the play. So I really, really do like Chandler Rivers a lot. But we're going to have to figure these things out in this draft. There's going to be a couple of cornerbacks that do not fit the measurables that we've seen in the past. But I remind you of Maxwell Hairston.
Yes.
From Kentucky last year. So maybe the league is coming around on some of these guys because I think when you start to talk about them, and Maxwell Hairston was picked in the first round last year. You know, so but late in the first round, but still a smaller corner, smart, tough, reacts well and stuff. But there's a couple of these in this draft. I personally have Rivers over Pounds. Or Ponds, Ponds.
I gotta watch him then.
Yeah. You need to take a peek at this guy right here.
You know who else has made some waves this week that I think that he's kind of suffering from just being consistent and just kind of being the guy, Caleb Banks.
Oh,
he's had a Caleb Banks defensive tackle out of Florida as well, three tech. I mean, he's had some good days at practice as well, really showing off, you know, his ability to be disruptive. And I really feel like he's one of those guys too. This defensive tackle class is fun.
How about Zach Durant, the Penn State kid?
I was wondering what you were going to say about him because he's 6'1", he's 290 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that look. I've seen that look.
No, he is though. He's
no,
small.
But he is. But
who you pairing him with?
His hands are pretty darn strong.
It's amazing how he gets up the field so quickly.
He's got that quick twitching.
I know. I don't even want to look at you anymore. I don't even want to look at.
If you want the bigger guy, I think Grayson Halton from Oklahoma has had some really good one-on-one reps. He's been impressive.
Yeah.
And he's 6'2", 293 as a defensive tackle. Like, you look at him, 3 tech?
You think so?
Maybe.
Most of there's some true noses.
A 1 tech with some wiggle?
I think the nose group, the one technique group, might be better than the 3s this year, or the guys that play on the outside shoulder.
Well, it's because you actually have some 1 techs like the big bodies, but these guys can give you some like Quinn and Williams.
Okay,
you know
it's annoying too because you normally don't. It's either this or that with some defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Where you're like, hey, I just want a space eater. I don't want a guy that's going to get upfield. And some of these big guys
could get up the field.
They have some foot quickness.
They do.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No. I was going to do something real quick, and Zach, I need you to help me on this one.
Okay.
Okay. We've talked about T.J. Parker, and I've struggled with this Missouri edge, Zion Young.
Yeah.
I've struggled with him.
Let me go to him.
I know, and I felt like
you got a report.
I love Zion Young. I really love
now I knew this. I knew you liked Zion Young, and I kind of wonder again: is this a guy that's probably a higher up? You know, he's 6'5", he's 262 pounds is what they measured him at the Senior Bowl, and he's shown up on tape. He's shown up in the practice tapes and stuff like that. So, Zach. Tell me where I'm wrong about the guy.
So was it the pass rush ability?
I think it was.
Okay. Because and it's weird because maybe it's the games that I watched. Like I watched him against Alabama, South Carolina, and Auburn.
Yeah.
But I saw a guy that fires off the snap. I think he times the snap really well. I thought the power, obviously, he's got that. The bull rush is difficult to handle with Zion Young. He'll push linemen into the lap of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Collapses the pocket. He attacks the outside shoulder really well with the speed. Shows the ability to dip under. Nice swim move, long arm. Really good feel in the run game as well. Fights off blocks. He can use that arm length to his advantage. Reads the RPO well. I think he's a guy that does not get fooled. Now, he's a true senior, transferred from Michigan State, where he played his first 2 seasons. But the last 25 games that he played the last 2 years at Mizzou, 15 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 12 quarterback hurries, team captain there.
You see a pass rusher.
I do. I saw a guy when it comes to just being able to time the snap, and it might be
Anticipation?
Yeah, the anticipation and also just kind of getting a feel for the snap count and the cadence.
Yeah. Football intelligence.
Yeah, Zion Young's got that down for me. So I thought he was very explosive at the snap in the games that I watched, which talking with other people, and you're not alone in this, they didn't see that.
Right.
So, it's much like Ruben Bain Jr. When I first watched Ruben Bain Jr., I was like, I don't see the first step quickness. The more I went back and watched him, I'm like, well, damn, Ruben Bain Jr. might end up being the second best player on my entire board when this thing's all said and done.
I know one thing. Daryl Jackson Jr. is going to go up people's board.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, how about,
I'm just saying.
And Brian, from you doing this for a living and living in this, that's got to win over so many people in the NFL, going from the Shrine Bowl practices
And
straight to the Senior Bowl. Like, you look for a guy that wants to just compete and play ball.
Yeah.
That is
He did a good
awesome.
job at the East-West game. I wish he would have played in the game, but the fact, I hope he plays in this game. I hope he plays in this game.
Heck yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you one more guy. And I think I should give me, just before we close this thing out, give me one more guy. Is there anybody else that we need to
One more gentleman?
that you kind of thought? If not, I got one for you.
Oh, I do, but it's not nobody I think Dallas is going to draft.
No, but that's we're a one-stop shop. Let's go.
Offensive tackle Gennings Dunker.
There you go.
Yeah, the
Out
Iowa
of
kid.
Iowa, 6'5",
you say-
315,
yeah.
320.
Tackle or guard for
Gennings?
Dunker?
Huh?
You think tackle or guard for this guy?
I think he's a
You think he's a tackle?
tackle. I mean,
I agree, but I've
from
seen
what
some
I-
people want to kick him inside to guard.
no, I think
6'5", 320 is what they're talking about. I think he could play tackle.
I like his feet.
I think his spatial awareness is good enough
Yeah.
that he needs to stay at tackle. But I mean, this guy was one of the most important people on that Iowa offensive line.
Yeah.
Started multiple seasons at right tackle. He's very respected in the locker room, so that's something as well. But his body type, he's mauler.
Yeah.
Like, really get after it. He's very tough and how he plays, and he's smart as well. You see him processing and
Sure.
reading through the game. Great arm length. He has a good lateral movement, and he's able to mirror. The ability to mirror is something that I think that's why people don't know if he's a tackle.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think people are kind of worried about his ability to mirror and his fit on the perimeter, how he's able to deal with that. But he has great balance, football IQ, and obviously the power. It's the run game for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he
He'll
really
tee
gets
off on
after it.
people.
That's where he really gets after it. And if you know anything about Iowa, their tight end is going to block their A-words off, and their offensive line is going to block their A-words off. The technical consistency is something that I wrote down as well. It's that when you watch him work his hands, his hand placement over the course of multiple games, I watched about 4 games, it's consistent. Most of his striking is always right on point. And that stands out because these guys, he's not lunging, he's not overextending. He's very comfortable and under control. I think he's going to be a zone scheme fit. Being able to do I would have him do more inside zone things because of what Zach said.
Sure.
I think some of the outside zone stuff might give him some issues just because people worried about his foot quickness and stuff. But the pass protection and the reliability, I mean, he does not panic when he sets.
Yeah.
This is one of the best offensive linemen in this draft.
I like that pull.
He's a right tackle. I'm not sure if Dallas is going to want to even touch that or whatever.
No, but
this
I think you nailed this
this
guy.
is a productive player. And I mean, yes, I think people are talking about moving him inside to guard. I typed that here. They are talking about that, but they're worried about his length.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're worried about the
that's
length. So
like Rashawn Slater kind of conversation.
they're worried about
Yeah,
the length.
but when have we seen a lineman completely extend his arms?
I mean, I think Will Campbell.
I mean,
was
I
getting
know
knocked out
it's
last year.
always brought up, but we don't see every time we see a lineman fully extend, they're probably
bad thing.
overextended.
It's a bad
And they're
thing.
probably gonna,
Yeah, they're probably
absolutely.
overextended.
Now your balance is going to be off. And you're probably lost the rep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think so that's the thing about him is that I do think with the lateral recovery and stuff like that can improve, but I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially since he does so many other things very well.
He does,
He's
yeah.
he's very technically sound
I think you got him right.
to be just starting.
Can I throw out just a running back and pass?
No, go
protection?
ahead, man.
Oh,
You close this out here. Close
Jaden
this out.
Ott, the Oklahoma runner, who transferred from Cal,
see
and
it.
he was elite at Cal.
I'll
Like,
tell you what,
one
man.
of the best running
He
backs.
did the
in
one-on-one
country.
thing where it was in front of
Yeah.
the whole world, and he stepped up
Incredible.
and stoned. his
and,
guy.
and I'm looking for that, especially like we'll see just from a cow. But I think every team values that. And Jay Knott had a struggle this year. It did not work out for him at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They didn't run the football well. And there's probably Oklahoma people that maybe I can dig in and talk with about what happened there. But this was one of the best running backs in the country 2 years ago at Cal.
Yeah.
That tape is awesome. Somebody's going to get themselves a hell of a back in day 3, and that pass protection really stood out to me.
Dallas need one too.
He steps up.
Maybe later.
No,
Maybe later,
absolutely.
but Dallas needs one.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that Dallas can figure out how to get into the 4th somehow. No way, no how.
Or even the 3rd.
No
maybe.
idea how they're going to do it, but they got to figure out how to get something.
Yeah.
From there. Sorry. Anyway.
No.
It's going to be
you're
rich
right.
there. It's going to be rich there.
It is.
Running back class is kind of meh to y'all.
Yeah.
Meh.
A little bit.
It's gotten better the more I've been watching.
the more-
I don't
more,
think it's as good as last year's.
Right.
But it's you can still find some guys now.
This class in general has a lot of talent. We heard Will McClay say that the other day when he was interviewing. Is like, hey, there's some guys in this class.
Oh, you'll find some guys.
Yeah,
You'll find
you
some.
gotta
That's
look,
our job.
You gotta really look.
That's our job. It's our job to look for those guys. All right, hey, little housekeeping items today being Thursday. Zach and I, for our afternoon job, we're on 105.3 The Fan. If you guys didn't know that, we will be at the Super Bowl next week.
It's so cool.
So we'll be in San Francisco at Radio Row running into folk, hopefully running into general manager folk out there, maybe some people hanging out, and we can talk to them about some of these players. So we will not have the stack next Tuesday or Thursday. We'll be back the following week. We'll give everybody a chance to kind of get some film work in, build our boards a little bit deeper, and then have some more conversations about these guys. So this will be the last episode of The Stack for this week. We'll take the next week off, and then we'll come back and be ready to go. So with all that being said, I'm Bryan Broaddus. It's Iisha Morrison. That's Zach Wolchuk. Make sure you're checking everything out here with us on crownglobalmedia.com. We've got all our shows up there. We've got our merchandise stuff. We've even got bios about these two guys and what they've done. I mean, her bio needs to be longer with all the things she's done in her life.
You keep kicking ass.
But yeah. So we're really excited about everything we're doing here at Crown Global Media, and we're excited that you guys come along with us for our shows and watch us. We really, really do appreciate everyone. So for the next time, again, Bryan Broaddus here, Iisha Morrison, Zach Wolchuk. We'll see you with The Stack.